Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. Hey, what's up everybody? It is the boys from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. Again, as usual, I am Dan. I'm joined by Scott, Rob, and Lucas. And we are officially on the road to WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, that's right. Part two.
That's right. We are here for the Backlash predictions and preview. Obviously, WrestleMania Backlash is in just over a week's time. We're going to go through all of the so far 5 announced matches for the show. We're going to give our predictions, and we're going to see who is going to take an early lead in the battle for the 2021-22 trophy, which is somewhere in the Royal Mail world at the moment. Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I've still got last year's one if you want to see what one looks like.
So Scott, obviously, as we know, won last year. That's last year's table. Doesn't make very good reading for the other 3 of us, but nevertheless, everything starts from 0. It means, Lucas, you at the moment are joint top. How are you feeling about
that? Yeah, I'd like to thank the Academy, God, and Charlotte Flair. Why not? She gets everything else, so I thank her.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, this is not going to turn into a fatal 5-way. Daniel Bryan is not here. He's not going to join us.
Yeah. He's maybe not part of the company at the moment.
Well, yeah.
No. So it's a free agent, so he could pop up on here at any time. So
you never know.
Yeah.
Imagine if we did that.
Doesn't go AEW, doesn't go in New Japan, doesn't go Ring of Honor, shows up with the Red Noise boys,
Yeah, if you want to join us, Brian, feel free. You're welcome.
Let us know. I'm sure we can fit you in.
So, as I say, shall we get into some Backlash predictions, boys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's kick things off with the SmackDown Women's Championship. That is Bianca Belair taking on Bayley. I am going to shake this shaker up, and we're going to see who is going to be picking first. Remember, I am number 1, Scott is number 2, Lucas number 3, and Rob, as you guys know because it comes up so much, is number 4. So let's have a look and see who gets the first pick.
It
is number 2.
Oh,
that is Scott.
Okay.
Last year's champion, get us out the blocks.
Oh, opening day of the season and all that.
Champion's advantage, isn't it?
Yeah. Why don't you guys give me a guard of honor? Anyway, right. Okay, Bayley versus Bianca Belair. For me, I'm going to be quick with this one because I think it's going to be Bianca Belair. As much as I love Bayley and I think Bayley at the top, why not? All the time, love seeing it. Like whenever she gets a chance, I like to see her featured well. And it's a shame she wasn't at WrestleMania, but I don't think this is where she gets it. I think maybe she does beat Bianca Belair in the end. I think bringing back that feud from earlier in the year around Rumble time is quite a cool thing to do. And some unfinished business and maybe another pay-per-view after this. I could kind of see it happening, but not at the moment, since Bianca Belair has just won the title. Now, I know that doesn't mean anything. That does they do take titles off people quickly, but I just don't see Bianca Belair being one of those people because she is being positioned up with Rhea Ripley as the future, the face of the women's industry. That's kind of like your Batista Cena moment at this year's WrestleMania. So I don't think they would have stripped either one of those guys a month later. Maybe I don't think they did anyway. But I definitely didn't Cena. Long story short, Bianca Belair is going to win.
Yeah, so it's a me next, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
You're right. They didn't strip. They didn't make Batista lose after he had his crowning moment. He beat Triple H 3 times in a row. Then had the longest reign on SmackDown for the World Heavyweight Championship anyway. He was more than successful. After
I mean, I'm not directly comparing these two to them two, but it's kind of similar, you know. Like, obviously, they ain't done half the work yet, but they're doing very good so far.
Look, this got Bianca Belair written all over it. It's a shame that Bayley was mistreated at the actual WrestleMania. Oh my god, this is so confusing. At the actual WrestleMania last month. Not
this budget one. Oh, the SmackDown one,
the actual one that existed.
Right.
With the rain delays and all that kind of stuff. But it's a shame she was mistreated, but it's just how it is, sadly. This would be a good match, though. This would be a nice redemption for her. She got the new character, new catchphrase, that kind of stuff. Basically the same character, but she got the catchphrase and stuff like that, which is proven quite popular. But Bianca Belair is not losing on the first defense. So Bianca Belair to win.
Yeah, short and sweet, Bianca Belair. I don't want to see her lose. Obviously, it's nice to see the babyface lose to the heel. I thought sometimes it can elevate the championship. Sasha done well keeping the championship, prestigious. Bianca Belair's now taking it. Hopefully, she does that same job. The only thing I'm annoyed about is she hasn't really appeared. And it hasn't been a lot if she has appeared. It's a couple of segments, and that's it. I would like to see them glorify the championship a bit more because that's the important part for the women's division. Both titles, that is. But yeah, I like Bayley. I'm a fan of Bayley. I just don't see her getting it back yet. So Bianca
Belair. For me, I think it's got to be clean sweep, really. Bianca, for me. As I say, WrestleMania, she won the championship from Sasha. It was obviously going now into the feud with Bayley. It just seemed like there's not really been there wasn't that much build to it. It was just like Bayley's just come out and been like, oh yeah, I'm going to challenge you next kind of thing. So it wasn't like they've built up a challenger for like in the background building up towards WrestleMania as somebody who could potentially come in next. But I think if you looked at kind of late last year, I think everyone was expecting Sasha and Bayley to be the match at WrestleMania. So I still think we'll probably see that down the line. Potentially SummerSlam is like in 4 months. So, I think we could post, and there's talk of that being with fans. So what better way to do that than with Bayley and Banks maybe for the title then. But for the interim, I think Bianca is going to stay as champion. I think she's going to probably stay at least through until SummerSlam. So, Bianca Belair for me.
Short and sweet, exactly that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice when we all agree as well. So that means we're either all getting a point or not getting a point. So, so we are now going to throw over to the next match, which is from the Raw side of things. It is the WWE Championship between Bobby Lashley, Brawny the Strowman, and Drew McIntyre. So 3 guys to pick from this time. Let's see who we are gonna get this time. It is.
Oh no! I was literally about to say this time I don't want to go first. Crap. Drew can only chase for so long, right? So I would have been surprised somewhat if Lashley lost it at Mania, but in another sense, I wouldn't have been. So I probably shouldn't be surprised if he loses it a month after Mania after having the title for about, 3 months now? So Strowman, you're getting pinned, ain't you? Surely. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Strowman wins it. But I know they've been trying to feature him more lately, but I think it's going to take a little bit more to kind of build him back up. And this has been the story of Strowman's career. WWE never really know what they want us to think with that man. It seems he's either the greatest thing since sliced bread or he's a joke. They don't, Nicholas and Shane McMahon, or you've got beating 2-on-1, destroying everyone, ripping through cars and whatever, So the presentation's always all over the place. And I think this past 4 or 5 months have been the same. The whole city's gimmick about him being stupid and that. So, I don't really see him winning it. So I'm going to go with Drew winning it back.
This was really hard. I must say that they've now over-egged the triple threat pudding now. With obviously this combined with the two on this show, combined with obviously the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's annoying because they keep playing with the logic of a triple threat match, because really the match is Drew McIntyre versus Lashley, right? Braun is just kind of there to exist. But then WWE logic, like, does that swing to Braun winning? In a weird way, like they're going to distract it with the Bobby Lashley and the Drew thing. And I'm almost tempted to say that might happen, but I will stick with my gut, because last year I went too much.
I know, win too many times. Yeah.
I think Lashley's retaining. Yeah, I think Lashley's retaining, and he pinned Drew. I think they need to escape this loop of Drew being in the title picture for now. Sadly, and that would be the only way to do it, really. Because I think if he was to lose in a triple threat match and was on the receiving end of the decision, then there can't be more rematches. Hopefully not.
If only they had a ready-made feud that lasts about 15 years of friendship that they didn't blow about 2 months ago. Wouldn't that be nice, to distract them out of it? Have a nice little decent feud. Exactly what we got, because it was a great feud, don't get me wrong. That Fastlane match was amazing. Do that, and then put him back in the title picture around SummerSlam. Would have been perfect, but,
I think it's the other problem with having so many pay-per-views, though, isn't it? So this is the thing.
Yeah.
Drew has to exist on pay-per-view now, with or without the championship.
It's dangerous, isn't it? Dangerous, overusing him, innit? So
yeah, and it's not like, it seems obviously Randy Orton is someone who's able to go from world title feud to team with Matt Riddle, in a couple of months. But Drew, but he's able to do that because obviously he's been in the company for so long, and we all know that he's just Randy Orton at the end of the day. Like it's an important match because it's Randy Orton. But do I change? No, I'll stick with Lashley winning. I'll stick with Lashley winning.
Yeah, so this was the one I'm really undecided on. You just don't know, do you? I mean, you could have Lashley retain it, which is what I want to happen, but at the same time, Strowman could win it to throw a spanner in the works to build up for, the next pay-per-view, which is it's Money in the Bank, isn't it?
It's WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, at Fastlane, end of the line, where it all begins again.
Is that the short title?
That's it, yeah.
The horror show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Held up 2 nights or something.
But I just don't know. I mean, basically, I kept thinking when we were talking, before we jumped on, and I was thinking, if Lashley loses, I think it only makes sense for him to be the Money in the Bank winner for the next pay-per-view to threaten the next champion, whoever that is. But yeah, I really don't know. So I'm just going to go with who I really want to win, and that's Lashley. So that's my prediction.
So this was actually, strangely, one of the ones where I was thinking I wasn't 100% sure on my pick for this one. And this has still really done nothing for it. Because, it's weird. I mean, the triple threat dynamics, as we've said, they're always really tricky because there's always going to be one guy that's just in the match just to get pinned or take the fall. But then you've had the thing where Lashley, it's like people are not necessarily tapping out of it. It's like people are passing out of it. So it makes me think, are they going to do something where one of them passes out, but then the other one's like, actually,
reviving him or something, or
trying to maybe lock another submission on or something. I don't know. I think it's gonna be one of those with a bit of a not necessarily a dodgy finish. I mean, you got to think as well. Bobby Lashley's had the help of the Retribution boys, or the Retribution business boys, as I'm now calling them, Mace and T-Bar, or T-Bag as Drew's calling him. I mean, I think I can probably, in my head, safely rule Strowman out. I think Strowman, is going to be the one that's going to take the fall. But does he take the fall from Lashley or Drew is the only thing. Oh, it's tough, man. It's so bloody tough. I'm going to go with Lashley retention.
Wow. So we all Lashley except for me then?
Yeah.
See, that's annoying because I want Lashley to win as well. So I'm going to be really torn on a night.
Yeah, I think he's going to.
They could do it. Sorry. So what if Drew was to win, but Lashley had Strowman in the full Nelson, and then as he was dropping to his knees or about to pass out, then gets Claymored, takes the pin. If they were going to do it to give it back to Drew, then that'd be an easy way because then Strowman doesn't take the pin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Strowman's out of it.
Oh, so he's like about to pass out, and then bam.
Yeah, and then Claymored while he's doing the submission. So if they were going to do it a way and not pee any fan off, then I think that's quite acceptable because it's not like Lashley can defend himself when his hands are around the back. You know.
Yeah. And then Lashley can say, "Oh, one-on-one, I would have beat you," and whatever else, and they can just drag it out further.
Yeah,
it's the kind of way where you could have obviously Strowman could be going to do the power slam on Lashley, and Lashley, ducks behind or whatever. Strowman gets Claymored. Lashley spears Drew, pins Strowman. So it's still like they've all kind of had a bit where they look strong. That's one good thing about triple threats that they can do. They can make everyone kind of look equal. But then, is that a good thing necessarily? Because then next month, where they got Money in the Bank, does Braun get the title shot?
True.
Next month, do we have a new? At least we have a fresh match. But then it's just like, well, it comes to a point where, as much as I don't necessarily think everything AEW does is correct, but I think when it comes to matches and they just decide someone has to win and look good, and the other person has to lose and not look as good. But it's tricky because I'm just hoping that we get some new stuff coming soon after this.
Yeah, it's going to be Brian win Money in the Bank, and then he's like the hottest free agent, and then who's he going to go after? So, but you guys that are watching this, let us know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, we're kind of a little bit like up in the air about what we think is going to happen here. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
No one's going for Braun.
No one's going for Strowman. Do you think Strowman's going to win? If so, let us know why you think Braun Strowman is going to be the one that comes out victorious. So
at Braun Strowman, let us know. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to
actually replies in the comments saying, "Yeah, I'm winning."
Yeah, he's going to be like, they're both going to get these hands or something. So, yeah. So we're going to move on to a match now for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. That is Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler, the Dirty Dawgs, taking on the team of Rey and Dominik Mysterio, looking to become the first father-son team ever to become tag team champions. So, while I roll the dice, Lucas, when was the last time these titles were defended on pay-per-view?
At Clash of Champions in September of last year. That is correct. And Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler have not defended them at all their entire run. It's back to Rob. It's back to Rob doing it first.
Yeah, I called it. It's
I actually want to go first this time.
It's loaded just on the even numbers this time.
Yeah, unbelievable. Do you know, I can keep this short and sweet. That's one of Mysterio's to win, man. I think it's a part of the Lucha heritage or something like that. Root for your boys. But yeah, no, I would love to see them win it. It'll be, as you said, the first father and son championship, which would be great as a, it's a good angle.
Should have had Vince and Shane, mate. Should have been Vince and Shane.
Maybe they'll defend it against them.
Rick and David Flair.
Trust, I wouldn't be surprised Rick and Charlotte winning them at some point.
Yeah, true.
But in both sets.
But yeah, if it's going to be done, then I'd rather it happen now. No disrespect to Roode and Ziggler, but they've not really done much with the titles. It's not their fault. Sometimes you get the title and you're keeping it warm for the next set of people that take it. And I feel like
Yeah.
they're a very long transitional team. Just do you know what I mean? Just let the Mysterios win, and let them do something with it. Because I mean, at least they'll bring something to it. There's a reason why Dominik's still around and he hasn't gone to NXT. So yeah, I reckon it's the Mysterios.
Yeah, so for me, it's I honestly think it's going to be. Firstly, I think it's stupid they didn't do it at WrestleMania, because if they were going to have the Mysterios crowned as champions, why not do it in front of fans first and foremost? Obviously, they did the Fatal 4-Way on WrestleMania SmackDown, which was stupid, and now at WrestleMania Backlash. Where it all begins again, they're doing this one. So my theory on this one is I think the Mysterios as a face team are going to win this match, and then they are going to lose the titles pretty soon afterwards to the returning Usos. So obviously they need to transition them from a heel team to a face team. Who's more over in the face tag team division at the moment, other than the Street Profits, than the Mysterios? So if you're not going to put the Street Profits in, put the Mysterios in, have the Usos go through them. Family versus family. There's your dynamic. Thank you, WWE. I'll have my paycheck in the post. But yeah, for me, I think the Mysterios are going to come out victorious. Yeah, I noticed, Rob, you got a nice mug there as well, mate, by the way.
Yeah.
So cheers.
It's great, isn't it?
I literally saw yours, Rob, and I was like, oh, wow, I want one. I realised I've got one. I just can't remember where I put it now. So, all right.
Wow.
Next time. All right, calm down, mate. All right, I've been too busy shining my trophy.
Get your butler to bring you in a cuppa, mate.
Right, so first of all, I agree with both of you. The Mysterio 100% are winning this. I mean, you don't have no tag team champions on the show for ages and then suddenly start pushing them. It's obviously to get the title off them. I like what you said, Rob, about him keeping them warm for a long time is basically what this has been. And also what you said, touching on what you said about, like, there's a reason he hasn't gone to NXT. The reason's his dad. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And also Dan saying this should have happened at WrestleMania. 100%. I mean, they didn't do anything at WrestleMania. And I say the reason's his dad, joking, but let's be right. Like, Dominik was fantastic when he, like, there's still a lot in his game that he obviously can improve on, and he's young and stuff like that. But I mean, the pressure, like, to do what he did, with Seth Rollins, although that storyline might have gone a bit weird, he performed very well. So I think we're all quite impressed with that. So it's frustrating that him and Ray didn't get, like, when it was such a big focus for so many months, didn't get their WrestleMania moment like many people like Bayley, but whatever, it's done now. And I do think this is the time. But Dan, I do really like that idea of them going to the Usos eventually, because I just can envision Reigns beating up a defenseless Ray, because Ray always plays the kind of like, oh my goodness, I've been attacked by the big guy very, very well. Dominik's forced to watch, kind of like what they did with the Seth storyline anyway. I could see working really well with the Usos and Reigns. So yeah, good shout there.
Or Roman trying to poison Dominik to turn on him.
Yeah, you could do. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm up for all of this. But yeah, it's got to start with Mysterios winning. I don't like the Dirty Dawgs, or both of those guys I think are great, but obviously WWE ain't making them important. So what we're supposed to think they are. So it's a shame, but it is what it is.
Okay. I think
he's going to go retention, isn't it?
Oh! Yeah, I think retention.
Wow. You really want to start predicting bad, mate? I'm joking. You'll probably win now.
I don't know. It just seems. I think if they're going to do a title change, they will do a triple. They do a triple threat. I think they do a triple threat tag match. They do Usos, Mysterios, and Dirty Dawgs. I don't know. It's just.
But that's if they're worried about making someone look bad. I don't think they're worried at all about making Dirty Dawgs look bad.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I think Dirty Dawgs, but I think everything you said, why it makes sense for the side of like a title change, I think it makes sense for title retention. Maybe they want to, bring the belts back and have the champions look strong
before they take it off them. Yeah,
I think because it's just the fact they didn't do it at WrestleMania, which bugs me, because it would have been a great match, great title change to happen in front of fans.
They did WrestleMania SmackDown.
We're not counting this.
Do you think it is then a bit too obvious? Maybe is that what you're kind of thinking? Like it's obvious to bring them up and take the title off them straight away. Maybe this kickstarts a feud where they eventually lose it, but not this time round. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I really like the team of Dolph and Roode. So I'm you know, but it's just really random because obviously on SmackDown it seems they could have only got the 4 teams, really, the 4 main teams. It's like they keep obviously facing each other. Obviously, I mean, these two, I keep calling them American Alpha. They should have literally dropped the Alpha from that name.
Alpha Academy.
Yeah, because it's so stupid. Yeah, Alpha Academy and Street Profits. Like they keep obviously just trading wins and losses, don't they? Essentially, that's basically the tag division over there. But then also as well, I can't rule out something like a DQ because DQ can't happen in either of the triple threat matches as well, or count out or anything like that. So I just don't. I think there's too many ways that Dirty Dogs retain, and I guess like even if they're going to lead to the Usos winning the tag belts, I don't know why that has to be straight away. Like, because Roman's obviously still going to be champion for a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like it would be too soon to go into the Uso thing straight away. So you're kind of talking me around actually. But because I can see this kick-starting a feud. Sorry, I was just going to say, like, to me, the Mysterios, it makes sense. Yeah, of course they're going to win the titles, but you're right, it doesn't have to be now, does it? So...
Yeah, and like they like their title change on even on TV now, don't they? Especially with the Fox still being big. They could literally, I reckon I'm not going to bold prediction this, but I literally reckon what might happen is they do a DQ count out the pay-per-view. On SmackDown, they do like a no-hold-barred, really 2-on-2 match. Street fight, and the Mysterios win on SmackDown the next week. That's literally what I can see happening. It's WWE for you. They will do that just to please Fox. They do another throwback SmackDown in a few weeks' time, and because again that's another. It was announced on throwback SmackDown as well, wasn't it? This match. So I think the announcement was the kind of like, oh, it's a throwback thing because it's Rey Mysterio and. Oh look, he's teamed with like Batista and Eddie and these people, blah blah. But it's now a case of like now that's out of the way, they might just go. They could just go back to we just have the Dirty Dog retain, and then we just keep them off pay-per-view again for like eternity. But
and then the winners go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go. I'm looking forward to this match though. Because I think that these belts haven't been defended in a long time. So this division feels. In a way, it feels fresh because it hasn't existed really on pay-per-view, has it, for the past like 6 months? So
they're almost like new titles.
And I think as well, what it's like when you're saying about they could save it. I mean that could be like that feel-good thing. That could be the feel-good thing that they're waiting for SummerSlam as well, potentially. As I say, that SummerSlam is when they're potentially saying that they're going to start touring again properly, and that's when the fans are going to start coming back. So, what better way to do your first big show with fans than the opening match of SummerSlam, have the Mysterios win the tag titles?
Yeah.
So should we move on to the next one now? Everyone's done there.
Let's go.
So we go back to Raw, and that is the triple threat match. Surprise, surprise. It is Rhea Ripley versus Asuka with the addition of Charlotte Flair into this match. So, triple threat. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Charlotte Flair. Who is going to go first? It is going to be 3. Lucas.
Just back to me. It's very weird. I just did last. I wish there was a way that all 3 could just lose. Which that was. It's not a really fair. It probably is possible. Triple threat DQ, end of the DQ or something.
What if you have just they could literally have some like badass just come out and just destroy all of them. Becky Lynch. Yeah.
Oh, it's painful.
Just Becky drive her truck in or something.
She's got to come back eventually, isn't she? So maybe this is the time to do it.
She's gonna win Money in the Bank.
Well, interesting you saying this. I mean, because I think Becky is important to the reason why I think who's going to win will win. Because Charlotte Flair's winning. It's so telegraphed at this point. Charlotte Flair's winning. The thing is, she was meant to be in WrestleMania. This is the thing. Like, they always have this option where, they could fix it. They could either go with what obviously they've got, which now at the moment is Ripley as champion, or they want to go where they want to go. And I think where they want to go is to build up to Charlotte and Becky again in the future. And Becky is definitely Becky's coming back soon. And obviously, with Ronda being pregnant, that's obviously ruined their biggest match basically for the women is Becky versus Ronda. Like without a shadow of a doubt, that's the biggest match they could ever do. Would be that, and that most likely would be a WrestleMania main event, you know, in the coming years. But with Ronda obviously being pregnant, that's definitely not possible now until what Mania? Definitely, probably not till Mania in Hollywood, I guess. What, you know,
2 years.
9 months have the baby, like 6 months off, but you know, get back in shape or whatever, then return. You know, so you're looking at least 2 years away. So the biggest match they could do in the women's division now is Becky versus Charlotte. And so they're going to find a way to make that happen. And it starts with this win that Charlotte Flair was meant to have at Mania. It's just because it's Charlotte Flair. Like, there's no other reason. There's no other reason why. I think I'd be gunning for either of the other people. To be fair, more Ripley than Asuka in this, because I think Asuka, again, she had it for a long time. But Asuka's annoying. She's one of those where the minute she loses a title, the fans complain that she's getting buried and not used by it. So it's like, but then she can't be champion forever. So
I think as well, it's around a year ago she was actually getting the title, wasn't it? Like from when Becky went off pregnant. So
so I foresee. I don't know when Becky will return, but I don't think it'll be then. I think it'll probably be Money in the Bank. I would have thought
SummerSlam with fans.
I don't know. I think they might.
I think everything's going to be SummerSlam with fans. To be fair, is there
any point us even doing anything for SummerSlam in your world? In your world, everything's happening.
Yeah, because otherwise we're going to end up how we were about Mania and some last year's SummerSlam. We were Sasha Banks is in Boston. Like we thought all that, didn't we? So
I think where it's got fans, it's going to be. I think they're going to save some. They're going to make a massive deal out of it being like the first one back
Mania. Called about Mania.
For Mania, they didn't care. They were just like, we don't get money. Like, just watch this.
Exactly.
Like the nice part away. Like I get where you're coming from, though, Dan. But I just think in WWE, it's just they don't care about it anymore.
It's either that or Money in the Bank. Becky could win Money in the Bank, and then it gives her an excuse not to actually wrestle, so she can still get back into like ring shape. She could literally just come in, do that one match, and then be off for a while.
Climb up. Everyone's laid out. She climbs up.
Just do a Lesnar.
I foresee Becky Lynch returning at Money in the Bank. Personally, I think that will tie the story in quite nicely with her obviously gifting that championship to Asuka essentially as part
from the Money in the Bank briefcase as well.
Don't know how it got inside, but that's for WWE to determine. But I think Charlotte Flair and she'll probably pin them both now. You see what Reigns did last night?
Well, there is one other option, and that I will throw over to Vinny in the comments, and that is Tamina comes out, ruins them all. Ain't nobody meaner than Tamina.
Oh, please. Okay,
I wish.
Look, rant coming. So my problem is
right. Rob gone.
WWE literally act like no other women exist apart from like Charlotte Flair, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and like literally like a handful of them. And it's just like no one else ever gets an opportunity to just win these championships. And it's just like, how comes all the other women just sit there and just to be like, oh yeah, Charlotte Flair just said she's in a title match now. Let's just accept that. Like why? Like why did that start? Why is it accepted? Why doesn't literally I would beg for someone, all three women come out, and then Tamina just comes out and just says, I'm in a match now. And like doesn't give a reason. Just literally said, "I'm going to."
Well, you didn't. So
literally just walks in and literally what Charlotte Flair does. Why didn't everyone do that? You know, like this is the thing with WWE. They break the rules of wrestling like several times, and only for certain people. Because same thing with like people like Goldberg. How come he's allowed to come back and have a title match? Like in the world that WWE lives in. Why doesn't everyone else do that? Why doesn't Mansoor do that? Literally rock up at Backlash, just be like, yeah, I'm basically tomorrow night in Raw, whoever wins. Like Goldberg does it. Like, you know what I mean? Like in their world, they've broken it. and it's just stupid because it just makes it unreasonable for everyone else. But yeah, that's my rant. I think they should use more women more, but it's me, Charlotte, Flair. Rob, sorry, what do you think? Sorry.
It's all right. To be honest, when you said can they do away with like all three of them losing, I really agree. I'm really not bothered about Charlotte being a part of the match. Asuka. So this is the issue. I think I really like Asuka.
Is it you live?
Carry on.
Yeah.
I just choked. Ah! Oh my goodness.
Did you need a minute?
I don't know what happened there. Oh, sorry.
I just see you slowly just move forward.
I thought Taz was here, mate. Taz missioning me or something. I lost it.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
On,
So I'm not fussed about Charlotte being a part of it, and I think my issue was, as I was saying, with Asuka, is I'm a big fan of her when she's chasing. I think when she's a champion, though, for some reason in WWE, she just doesn't pull off like this role as a champion. You know, some people just can't do it. I think they expected a lot from her, and yeah, they did get that when she was undefeated. And I think there was a lot more to it when she was undefeated because there was a way to push it. But now I just don't see anything really with Asuka. I feel like they buried her in a way where she can't really save herself. So, you know, and with Ripley just that winning it at Mania, it'd be stupid for her to lose it when they're the future of the company. So I really don't know what they're going to do. That's why what Lucas said with none of them winning makes sense. But if I have to choose an option, then I'll say Ripley because I'm really hoping that this isn't the answer to Flair winning from that triple threat match in NXT. That will be annoying.
Yeah, that's it. Clock that.
At least two of them are in the match, so yeah, we'll never forget about that. That reason's got to come someday, Triple H.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm going Ripley.
And it's still real to Lucas, damn it. So for me, it's going to be Ripley, believe it or not. So,
Hey!
on that one, there we go. Yeah, I think
that was it. He had nothing other than the pun. He was like, "Oh, really did you, my boy?"
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Just nice.
You don't have to give a reason. It's fine.
Because I think Rhea Ripley is going to be the one that puts someone's shoulders on the mat. 1, 2, 3. I think. Do you know? I honestly think Charlotte's going to be taking the pin in this one as her punishment for the whole Andrade thing. But I still think that there. Do I think there's going to be shenanigans? Nah, I think this is just going to be quite like a clean finish to the match. You know, I think it's going to be. It could even be a case of Asuka locked in. You know, Charlotte could even go for maybe the. So Asuka puts Asuka lock in. Charlotte puts the figure 8 in. It could be one of those where Rhea's in the thing. Obviously, he's tapping out, but obviously, title won't be able to change hands with that. And then suddenly she manages to get up, hits her finisher, riptide, bang, 1, 2, 3. Still your women's champion, Rhea Ripley. And then you can obviously have your first 2 competitors in Money in the Bank. I think they're going to be, you know, trying to stack that quite with quite a lot of talent or big name talent this year. So I think Charlotte and Asuka are definitely going to be 2 names that go into it. I mean, you think Charlotte, Asuka, Bayley, potentially, Sasha. That's 4 quality Money in the Bank participants straight away. Like if you go in down that route, but you know, obviously you got to still think as well. There's going to be a challenger for the title at the pay-per-view, which you know I'm hoping they're going to give somebody else a chance. You know, like I'd like to see something like a Naomi versus Rhea Ripley. That would be a good match. You know, give her an opportunity. Tamina's on SmackDown, so
just bring her over. Tamina,
Charlotte could do it. Why could Tamina not do it?
because oh wait, I was going to say because Tamina's not Charlotte Flair, but you know, her dad's still quite famous within the wrestling world. So
well,
yeah. So we've got another comment here, just Becky Lynch at Money in the Bank, hopefully. Yeah, we touched on that briefly, you know, possibly. I think the connotations, obviously, of Becky giving Asuka the title in the briefcase, I think that may play into something.
Will be good.
Like now they're thinking there's actually a possibility that she could come back. And the fact that, obviously, this time last year, it was Money in the Bank straight after WrestleMania. This year, they're going with Backlash and then Money in the Bank. Could they maybe have done that with that in mind? Because the initial pay-per-view list for this year actually did have Money in the Bank straight after WrestleMania. But yeah, I suppose the tagline of WrestleMania Backlash wouldn't work. So yeah, so throw it over to you, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Becky come back at WrestleMania Backlash, but I don't think it's going to happen just yet. I think adding her to a triple threat feud is probably going to be a bit confusing. The whole thing about Dan, you saying about SummerSlam, you know, like she could come back then. I think an announced match at SummerSlam for fans isn't the way to do it. I think a surprise at SummerSlam, if there's fans, is the way to do it, if they do that in any way. So I think that gives her a little bit more time and just a one-on-one match, and she comes in at the end or something like that, or stops a beatdown or whatever it is. Yeah, I think
one of those where the champ gets beat up beforehand, or so someone gets beat up beforehand, and it's like Rhea Ripley's there in the ring waiting for a challenger.
I prefer returns where they don't wrestle. I prefer returns where it's just about their music hitting. I don't need to. I think sometimes the match kind of takes away from the return. Like we all remember Triple H Madison Square Garden. It's because he didn't wrestle. You know, like him and I think Angle when.
I still get goosebumps when I like even just hearing about that.
Such a good return.
Best one they've ever done, I think. So, yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best ones by far.
Yeah, maybe not the best top three, without a doubt. Is amazing. But yeah, as far as this match goes, for me, it's Rhea Ripley. I think she's again just like Bianca Belair because she's only just won it. I don't think they got the reaction they thought they were going to get at WrestleMania, you know, and it weren't the match we thought we were going to get either. Rob, you said about Asuka always seems to be better chasing. I do agree in recent years that is the case. And the NXT thing, you know, I was gonna say, yeah, but NXT, she was champ for ages, but like you said, she was also unbeaten. That was kind of like the allure of it all, you know. So, yeah, and like we can't sit here and talk about Charlotte being in everything and not say the same thing about Asuka. It's true, Asuka's in a lot of things as well. It's just that it seems like the foot comes off the gas a bit when she's the champ, as far as WWE's featuring of the women's title. It's like when Charlotte's getting featured, it's not just that she's getting featured, it's that WWE suddenly remember what the women's division is when she's in and around it. But if she's not in it, it's second fault. It's like a secondary fault for them. It feels like at times anyway. So yeah, I don't think she's going to get it back straight away because I think it's, I mean, I've been tone deaf on it quite a lot. And like we were saying, like Dan, when you was on Latest SmackDown a few days ago, and we did, we were, you know, I wrote a comment in there. You know, I just want to see her have a grudge match. You know, like just her. And the example I gave was her and Naomi. Why can't they just have grudge matches? Why is it always got to be a title match? If she was doing something else, it's the same with Cena. When Cena stepped down and became even US champ and just had matches that weren't about the title, and kind of like what Lucas was saying earlier about Drew McIntyre as well. It ain't because we hate Drew. We all love Drew, but we don't want it to get stale. We want to keep loving Drew, so we want him to come away from the title feud, have something else. The Sheamus thing would have been ideal, and then come back when we're all ready for it, you know? And, you know, build up some challenges and stuff like that. And that's exactly what they need to do with Charlotte. Keep her away for a bit. Let her fight someone else, you know? Just let her have a feud. I know they're different brands again, but if it was Sasha, for example, like, it doesn't have to be about the title. You know, it could be about anything, really. So that's what I want to see happen with Charlotte. So I'm hoping she don't win it, and I'm going to put faith in WWE here. Is going to be Ripley. Absolutely amazing. Such as I love her. You know, she's a great wrestler, great character, but she doesn't need the title. She just lost it for a reason, I think. And the only thing that puts me off is what Lucas said of like this might have been the original plan with her Lacey Charlotte champ. So that kind of makes me think, oh, maybe they're going back to the whole original plan type thing. But sometimes once that ship sailed, that's it, and they're on something else. So I'm hoping that's the case this time. They're going to keep it on Ripley for a while.
Yeah, because I think initially Lacey was meant to win the title from Asuka, which, you know, I think leading. I mean, they would have initially, I guess, done a feud there with Charlotte before that. They were doing the feud without the championship, which was, you know, it was good, but obviously doing the whole Ric Flair thing was a bit far fetched, really. But
well, yeah, exactly. And that's a good example because that's exactly what I'm asking for, to be in a feud away from the title. But the Flair thing kind of clogged it up, didn't it?
Yeah, it's like you don't need to keep bringing like her dad into it. It's like, yeah, we all know who her dad is because they announced her last name as Charlotte Flair. It's like,
yeah,
we know it's Flair's daughter. Yeah, it's like
same issues.
Make it an attraction thing. You know, give it, you know, even if you bring back like jobbers or something, have her destroy a few people. If you're going to build her up strong. You know, you don't have to have her constantly going in there and beating up. You know, people that are maybe challenging for like the tag titles, you don't want her to keep going in there and beating up like your Dana Brooks, your Mandy Roses. Why have her beaten them when, you know, they could just literally just bring in a few randoms, have a beat, go through them, be like, right, now I'm on a dominant streak, give me a title shot. Then you're thinking, okay, there's something there. But yeah, anyway.
At least they've tried to address it with her character lately, you know. They've tried to be like, yeah, I'm Charlotte Flair and I get opportunities. You know, at least they've tried to address it. But, yeah.
And it's what she got over Sonya Deville as well, because obviously Sonya Deville just suddenly let her back in. So, you know, that...
Yeah, maybe that's going to play a part here. Yeah, didn't really
Yeah, no, I'm with you though, guys. I think they definitely need to put more effort into non-title feuds and rivalries. You know, definitely. Like, I think because Charlotte, she's got the name value, you see, where, you know, Charlotte Flair versus Naomi, like, even though I'm not a massive fan of Naomi, I'm still like, well, I'm more inclined to watch if it's Charlotte Flair versus Naomi rather than, like, you know, Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler versus Naomi. You know, I'm more inclined to watch. And again, it's about you know, WWE and wrestling, it's about presentation, isn't it? Like, if you present Charlotte Flair and Naomi to us at SummerSlam, you know, after a month or two's rivalries, where they've had like some nice segments and maybe a couple of good promos, that kind of stuff. And then you present it to us at SummerSlam as a match that is, well, a match that exists and it's something, got something behind it, then people will react to it, you know? Like, it didn't need to be for the title every single time. Because, I mean, it's become increasingly the fact that they really want Charlotte Flair to break her dad's record. Because she's had so many title reigns now. Is it 11 now? 10 or 11 now she's up to?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's not old though, you know. She's got plenty of time, surely. I mean, maybe they know something we don't, and she wants to be out of the game by she's a certain age. I don't know, but yeah, for me, I'm like,
well, the way she's done with these titles, she'd have it done by the end of the year. Like, you know, she'd be 17-time champion at the end of the year because basically now they got both belts.
So she's been 5-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 4-time Raw Women's Champion, 1-time Divas Champion, and 2-time NXT Women's Champion.
What's that? 12? 11, 12.
I think you'd only count 9 though, wouldn't you?
So yeah, so if you're going by
the
main
Divas
roster,
one was the women's title, just changed it, you know.
Yeah,
I know sometimes they kind of act like it was 2 reigns, but it's not, is it?
So they're classing her as a 1-time and final Divas Champion and the inaugural and 4-time.
Yeah,
so it's even 9. So you'd say it's 9 or 10. So it's going to be. I think it will be one of those.
10. Yeah.
So they say here, Charlotte Flair's first reign when the title was called the Women's Championship as a result of the 20. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so between 10 and 12, no matter.
We'll know when they start promoting it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insanity though. I just wish they'd just do it, you know, without the need for you know, the title. Because the thing is, what happens now? Because the thing is, obviously, this might need to be saved for the preview we do on the night. Because I'm assuming they will add these titles to the show, the women's tag titles. You oversaturize it because every match has to be for championships, but it's not allowed to have matches without the championship in one line. And then if the matches aren't very good, which in a nice possible way, you know, they haven't been engaging, and the fact that they've got rid of obviously the tag teams that they had, and they don't use the ones that they
go on, Rob. Mention it. Go on, Rob. Yeah, Iconics. Yeah. All right. Cool.
You know, like
it still hurts.
It cheapens the belts in some sort of ways, And the same thing here, like Charlotte Flair. Like if Charlotte Flair is involved in every single title match, forever and ever and eternity, people would get disinterested. Whereas they could get more interested, like you say, like with Cena, like when he did the US Open Challenge. People they got invested in it because it's like for once he wasn't just going like, because like Cena versus Lesnar, like great, Cena versus Reigns, whatever you want to do with them, it's fine. But it's a case of like you see it, he associates one person with it so much, it just gets boring. You need to break it a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, and we've got to throw over to the comments again there. Totally agree. I'd enjoy watching Charlotte more if it's non-title matches with good stories rather than my name's Flair, me want title. Yeah, the thing is like they can do it with the men's division. Like they can run about 4 or 5. Like you look at what they're doing at the moment with like Riddle and Orton. They're running that concurrently. They're running like an Aleister Black thing on over on SmackDown. They can run loads of different, like 3 or 4 men's storylines concurrently. Now, you could say fair enough that it's because there's more men's titles to go for. And so then, eventually this person facing this person will lead to a US title, IC title match down the line. But they're still going to be fighting for different things, like you see like on Raw this week, they had like Angel Garza and Drew Gulak just because of something over a rose. It's like, you'd never see that with the women. Like, I don't like your hair extensions, let's have a match sort of thing. It's like, yeah. Anyway, we could see if that age is going on about that.
I just don't think they've got confidence in the women's division. I think there's a minority that believes that it's strong. I think a lot of people believe it's strong. There's a small minority that don't believe that it's going to be as strong as it is. Mick Foley said online, a women's brand, and he got backlash for it. But he just wants the women to shine. And they've proved that they could do it on Evolution, whatever it was called. They bring back Eva Marie, which I have issues with, but I'm not going to say, how can you get rid of the Iconics and bring back Eva Marie? It's beyond me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, but it's unrelated, bro. I think that's unfair. I think it's unrelated. No, it's unrelated, man.
I just think
it's not her fault either.
Yeah, but you cut women. I just don't understand the idea. They cut women and bring one back. Even if it was in a pipeline for the last few months, it's just
she's been.
It doesn't look good. I get you. It doesn't look good,
and it just looks like they have no faith.
I think they're 2 different situations. Just make it look bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what Eva Marie does back, and I absolutely love the Iconics, but I just think WWE messed up twice, basically. It just made them look bad.
That's what I mean, and it makes it look like they have no faith in the women's division. And then when someone like Foley says, make them a brand, if they can do a 205 live brand, and that was fine. What's wrong with having a women's? They've got main event for crying out loud, and they have some great matches on there. So why can't they just have a heat, or bring back heat for women? Or Velocity, and just put them on there and showcase what they can do. And if it doesn't get attention, they haven't lost anything because it's already a CD brand. Bring back Jack Specific, but a show like that, just put the women on there and see what happens.
Jack Specific was the toy maker, by the way.
Oh, sorry,
you mean Jacked?
Yeah, Jacked. Yeah, bring that back and just
bring back Hasbro.
But just see what they can do.
I do prefer Jack.
I don't see the problem. Jack Specifics are great.
We've said it on this show before. The Enter in the Titantron, big fan of the old metal strips on the feet.
No.
Yeah, I think if you go back as well, like on so I did later SmackDown on Raw last week, and I actually went into quite like a bit of a rant really about the whole like women's division thing and about how they're not using them like quite well. If you've not already seen it, guys, go back and just watch that, and don't forget it's coming up on Tuesday as well. So we'll see what happens there on the final Raw on the road to WrestleMania Backlash. And talking of the road to WrestleMania Backlash, we will be back live for the build-up to WrestleMania Backlash on the night. I'm not too sure what time it's going to be yet, but it'll be, I'm guessing, like
we'll put it out there, won't we?
9-10 o'clock, something. It'll be something anyway. It'll be before the show.
Follow us. That's how you'll find out. Hey.
Follow us, and if you ring the bell, then you'll get a notification, and that will tell you exactly when we're going live. So, yeah, when we know, you'll know. So shall we now throw over to what I will assume will be the main event of the evening? And that is going to be for the Universal Championship. That is going to be Roman Reigns defending his Universal Championship against Cesaro. So, what are we going to do for Roman Reigns and Cesaro? I think Roman Reigns and Cesaro. Now, let's just have a little quick chin wag about this. Rob, the others, for some reason, are not with us at the minute. So
yeah, those two are froze.
Yeah, those two are frozen. They're somewhere in cyberspace. But yeah, for now, obviously, me and Rob are here. So obviously, yeah, we've got the like the main event, obviously, of Backlash coming up. So yeah, I mean, so what do you think of, like, obviously you're a big Usos fan, so obviously without giving away too much about what you're going to predict on it, because we'll still do it fair as we always do with everybody else, but yeah, what's your thoughts on this thing with the Usos?
Oh man, do you know what, it really shocked me when we got the like the return, and it was just the way it was done. It was done so nicely with, you know, brother and brother kind of rejoining, and then, you know, rejoining with cousins and stuff, and then all of a sudden, throughout the show, one of them refused to, you know, bow down to Roman and say that he's not the head of the table. I've really enjoyed it. Great build. I don't know. Is Jimmy capable of continuing this story, or do you think this story is going to be something to then build on? I mean, I don't know if Jimmy's strong enough on his own to, you know, like break Jay from Roman. And I see, if anything, Roman and Jay are stronger together to break Jimmy.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
I'm intrigued.
I mean, so we've already got one, you know, it might sway people's opinions. It might not. Cesaro for the win. Are we right? Incredible competitor. Everyone's been asking for a world title run for so long. Let's have it. So talking of let's have it with seeing who goes first for the predictions, and then we'll see, does anyone think Cesaro is going to win, or does everyone think Roman's going to win? Who knows? It starts out with number 1. So I am going first this time. So now, you asked me before SmackDown, I say to you 100% Roman Reigns is winning this match. You asked me after SmackDown, I think it's a little bit trickier because there's dissension now. There's dissension with the Usos and what's going to happen. Obviously, Seth has still got his beef with Cesaro as well. Seth obviously seemingly is going to be going after, looks like he wants to go after Roman as well at some point. So yeah, it's really, really for me tough to pick this one. As much as I would love to see Cesaro win, I think there's more chance that he could win than there previously was. I think because of the whole thing with like what's going on with the Usos, so possibly Jimmy could accidentally cost Roman the title. Possibly Jay could accidentally cost him the title. Maybe they do it on purpose. Who knows? But I do still think deep down that Roman Reigns is coming out of this as Universal Champion. So my pick is the big dog to retain the title by hook or by crook.
Interesting. Okay. Right, I think ultimately it's going to be Roman Reigns as well. Like, don't get me wrong, absolutely just love Cesaro. And I was wrong in what I said at WrestleMania. You know, I said that his moment was like being featured in a singles match. I thought that was his thing, you know, not that I wanted that to be the case. You know, I think he's great. Lovely guy. We interviewed him. Check out on the main Rebellious Noise channel as well, if you're a fan of him like we are. And we had a nice chat with him a few years back. But yeah. And I mentioned the kind of things we spoke about then, you know. He goes up and down as far as how much they use him, you know. But yeah, I'm pleased that they're using him now. I do think it could lead to a title thing, but I don't know if 6 months ago, right? If I said to you Cesaro is going to be the one that ends Reigns' dominance, would you buy it? So I don't know. Yeah, they've built him, but I think they've built him for this feud. I could be wrong, but I think they've built him to have a credible feud rather than to give him the title. So I think Roman Reigns.
Cool. And Lucas.
Yeah. Obviously, they're doing a really good job with Cesaro, the past kind of, few months. And, it's just a case that it's very thin on the ground, isn't it? Obviously, with the departures of Edge, and Brian now, post Mania, the SmackDown main event scene obviously isn't really up to much. So they had to have someone, and they already did Kevin Owens about 1,000 times. And yeah, it's just one of those things where I just can't envision Reigns losing to Cesaro. As much as we all love Cesaro, there is all that bit where 6 months or months ago, he was barely making it off the pre-show or pay-per-views. He isn't beating Roman Reigns. It just isn't existing. He's not that guy. He's the guy who, when you want someone to team with to win the tag belts, great, Cesaro. He's the guy who, if you just want to please the kind of indie fan base, put Cesaro on with Rollins or Cesaro on with someone like that. But he's not the guy to beat Roman Reigns, especially with how dominant Reigns looked at Mania. As an actual Mania, how dominant he looks at Mania when he pinned, Daniel Bryan and Edge, together. He's not losing to someone who literally is just, it's sad, but he is literally king of the pre-show. When I think of Cesaro, I can only think of him, as that. He's a tag team guy. He's the mid-card guy. He's a pre-show guy. But he's not the guy to beat Roman Reigns. The shenanigans with the Usos are interesting, but I think that's setting up stuff to come, soon. But yeah.
So a longer build with the Usos then, rather than
yeah,
quick.
I think obviously we got other pay-per-views. I know obviously Dan is. I'm not going to jump on the Dan wagon, of thinking that everything's happening at SummerSlam, but I think. There's Money in the Bank. There's going to be Extreme Rules. There's going to be probably something else to happen in between this stuff. A Battleground or Payback or whatever name they decide to bring back again. He is though. When you think of the pre-show, it's Cesaro. When you think of I hate to say it, but he is the first person that comes to mind. That and the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which. Let's see if they get bumped again onto the pre-show of this show. But it's just the US title as well, which it just screams pre-show.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want it to, because I like some of the matches. It's just sometimes how it is. But yeah, I'll go Roman Reigns to retain.
Roman to retain. How about Rob?
Yeah. So I really want Cesaro. There's a part of me thinks Cesaro, he can do it. We believe in the Cesaro section, but I just don't see it now. I just can't see it. He's come off of a win from Seth at Mania, a phenomenal match. But I just don't see it happening now. The first time he's had a huge title match. This is probably going to be the biggest match in his career, and he's going to win it on the first attempt. I just don't buy it, and that's not a thing at Cesaro. That's a thing at WWE. They won't do that. And whoever knocks off Roman, they either need to have a phenomenal feud again with Roman to then see if he can recapture the title. Or they need to have a very, very good reign with that championship after. And I just can't see Cesaro having a great reign after beating Roman. It'll knock him forwards and elevate him, but he then needs people to compete against that can do that. And other than Seth, Kevin Owens, and Roman, right now I really can't think of many people, and that's it. So yeah, as much as I really want Cesaro to win it, and I'm so happy he's in this position, it's been a long time coming, but I'm going Roman. As you said, wreck everyone and leave. Roman's definitely doing it. He's definitely winning.
Yeah, I think for me, it's as you say about the whole thing with Roman and what was it? I'm just trying to think what the point I was trying to make. That was it. Yeah, about Cesaro and like the challenger and stuff. Whoever wins it is going to have to obviously come out of it and be a really like big deal kind of thing. We know obviously that Brock has already turned around and said that he is not interested in returning to face Roman at this point. I don't think that would work, to be honest, though, because obviously you've got heel versus heel. You wouldn't Braun. Whenever Brock does seem to come back, he does seem to come back as a bit of a heel. So
yeah,
I don't really think it's going to be the best way to do that. So
yeah, so obviously it's main evented. Is it 2 WrestleManias already as well, isn't it? We've done it. That's a sad thing with these part-timers. They've exhausted a lot of their main feuds. Like we think of Brock and Goldberg as well. Like they've done it like, was it 2 times they've done it, sorry. And then obviously, yeah, Reigns and Lesnar was done to death. Rollins and Lesnar, bloody hell. That was like every week at one point. There's only so much you can do. And I get, like Brock will obviously at the moment, while there's no fans anyway, he'll obviously just kind of say stuff like that because he can. And he'll wait obviously for fans to come back and for them to obviously start doing the international shows. Because I think with Brock, it's just a money game. And he knows that money won't be existing on the table yet until obviously fans return. And a TV draw though, isn't he? So you'd think they'd want it for the ratings. Brock and Goldberg, they are proven, to bring in the people. So, but it's just still a case of like once they are there, you do obviously want them to get the proper reception from the fan base. But it's troubling because it's just that it's so thin on the ground, that main event scene, and obviously the Big E push, it didn't really happen.
It just disappeared. Yeah, you're right. He's sorry, Lucas, but yeah, the Big E thing, that had me fuming because it came too early. All of us were talking that Big E could potentially be the guy. It was such a sad way that 1 minute he was getting the push and he was looking solid, and then he won the IC Championship, and I was like, all right, maybe this is the stepping stone just to see what you can do with it. Great match with Apollo, but again, it came too soon. I think the only thing I would disagree with you two on would be the Brock thing. I don't think he's going after Roman. I think if Brock reappears, he's going back to Raw. Purely because if you've got, imagine the way it'd look on Heyman. He's got Roman as a champion and Brock as a champion. It looks dominant for him, and it makes him look good. And I'm not saying that there'd be a faction, but that's a draw there. Having Paul Heyman, and he can, Brock's part-time anyway, so he could be occasionally appear on Raw and have the championship, and then Heyman can do his thing with Roman on SmackDown.
I suppose as well, it gives you that ready-made thing for Roman to be like, well, I've been here every single week defending this title, and you're coming back, you're winning a title, making a mockery of it by going away for all this time. It's like, I fought back. Exactly, it is. I think, I'm thinking it does seem like they're planning the next 2 WrestleManias. So it looks, in my opinion, they're going with the Dallas WrestleMania or Texas WrestleMania as Roman Brock as their big match, and then leading it to Roman Rock at Hollywood the year after that. So that's how I'm looking at it. I think if anything's set in stone at the moment, I think that would probably be what they would be aiming for. Would be that, but then it's a case of how do you get there, because obviously you don't want to take the payday away from somebody that's been there all the time, and then just chuck it on a part timer, like we've said before. No. Yeah, so I guess it's for us, that's all the matches, I guess, for Backlash. Just one quick shout out that I do want to do as well. Canal saying that he is here again. Hello, sir. I haven't actually had the pleasure of interacting with you. I saw that the guys spoke to you on the WrestleMania is it pre-show one or
build-up?
Yeah, one of the build-up.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually. I'd already gone to bed by that point. So
Maybe
welcome. Thank you for joining us. There we go. So I think that is pretty much it. I think for Backlash now. Obviously, don't forget that we will be back for the build-up for WrestleMania Backlash. I will obviously be back on Tuesday on the road to WrestleMania Backlash with Lay the SmackDown. That will be on Monday Night Raw. There's one on NXT and there's one on SmackDown, which will be Saturday morning on the Backlash build-up show as well. We will be doing some additional predictions for any matches that are added during this week, and that will count towards the final total. There's no point in us throwing up a graphic for the table because we're all level on points at the top on
I just
0.
throw this up instead.
Yeah.
Obviously,
the champ is here and stuff. You got the trophy, mate. Me and Rob have got the cups, the second place cups, I think.
Because I'm golden and use a mug.
Has Lucas got his wooden spoon yet?
Probably not. But anyway, that's it, guys. I just want to say a massive thank you to you three for joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to everyone that's commented on this. Don't forget, leave us your predictions in the little comment section down below. You can follow us all on Twitter as well at RM Pro Wrestling. And that's it. We will see you guys for the Backlash build-up. So we will see you guys very soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.